Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to show you exactly how you can generate passive income with the Algorand network. We'll walk you through how to turn a computer you probably already own into an asset that earns you rewards 24/7. So, how do you actually do it? We're talking about moving way beyond just buying and holding. We're going to explore a way to put your crypto to work for you, letting you earn rewards around the clock just by helping to secure the Algorand network. All right, so before we jump into the how-to, we've really got to understand the why. You see, Algorand's entire system is built to solve a core problem that pretty much every blockchain network out there faces. It's called the blockchain trilemma, and you can think of it like a balancing act between three things: security, decentralization, and speed. It is incredibly tough to get all three right. If you make a network faster, you might accidentally make it less secure. Algorand was literally designed from the ground up to solve this exact problem. And that solution is what opens the door for people like you and me to participate and earn. This right here gets to the heart of why this is so accessible. A lot of other blockchains use a system that requires these massive energy-guzzling computers, but Algorand is different. It uses a method called proof of stake. So instead of needing super powerful hardware, you participate simply by staking your own ALGO coins. It's way more energy efficient, and it means pretty much anyone can take part. So how do you actually plug into this whole system? Well, you do it by running what's called a participation node. Now, I know that might sound a little technical, but really just think of it as your personal, dedicated connection to the network's operations. Okay, let's talk about what you need. You'll need a decent computer, something with at least an i5 processor and 16 gigs of RAM. But the absolute key requirement is the 30,000 algo stake. And listen, this is really important. Your funds are never locked up. They stay in your control in your own wallet. The system just needs to see that you're holding them. And this is what it's all about, right? The rewards. They actually come from two different places. The main one is from block rewards, which you get for helping create and validate new blocks. The second is a tiny piece of the 0.001 algo fee from every single transaction that goes through the blocks you help process. Okay, time to get our hands dirty. The software we're using makes this whole thing a super simple one-click process, and we're going to walk through every single step, from downloading it to getting it live. So first up is the installation. You're going to head over to the FUNC project on GitHub, and just grab their one-click node installer. Once you download and run that file, it's not like a normal program you open. It actually opens up and runs as a local website right there in your web browser. Kind of cool. Once that's up and running, you'll just click Start a Node. Your computer will then start downloading the entire history of the Algorand blockchain to get itself in sync. While that's chugging along, you connect your crypto wallet, like the popular Para wallet, which is where you're holding your 30,000 algo. Just a heads up here, this initial sync is easily the longest part of the whole process. It can take anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, so just let it run in the background. Go grab a coffee, watch a movie, your computer will handle the rest. All right, now for the final steps to get online. Once you're all synced up, you'll click to generate a special participation key. Then you register that key on the network, which you do by authorizing a tiny 2-algo transaction from your wallet. As soon as that's confirmed, your status will flip to green, and you'll be officially participating and eligible to start earning rewards. Awesome, your node is live, but your work isn't quite over. To keep those rewards coming in, you just need to make sure your node stays healthy and connected to the network. So inside the software, you'll find a management tab where you can enable telemetry, and that's really just a fancy word for your node's dashboard. On it, you'll see a couple of key indicators for time sync and network. As long as those are both green, you're golden. You're perfectly aligned and earning rewards. Just remember, your PC has to stay on and connected. If it disconnects for some reason, you'll have to re-register that key. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. The big question on everyone's mind: what can you actually earn by doing this? We're going to break down the math for you, based on real network data. All right, let's build this calculation up step by step. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with the foundation, and that is your stake. So for this whole example, we'll be using that minimum requirement of 30,000 algo as our starting point. Now, your rewards depend on how your stake stacks up against everyone else's. Think of it like a giant pool. Right now, the total amount of algo being staked in that pool across the entire network is about 1.33 billion. So by dividing your 30,000 by that massive 1.33 billion total, we figure out your share of the pool. And yeah, it's a tiny number, just 0.00226%. But this little number is what determines your cut of all the rewards that get paid out by the network. So what does that tiny percentage actually get you each day? Well, when we apply it to the total rewards the network pays out, this is the breakdown. You can see the huge majority, about 7 ALGO per day, comes directly from those block rewards. The transaction fees add a little bit extra on top, but the real engine here is creating those blocks. So let's zoom out a bit. When you add up those daily rewards over a full month, you're looking at a total of roughly 217 ALGO. That is your estimated passive income for running the node with a minimum stake. Now, it is super important to be realistic about what this means. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. The original guide we used puts it perfectly, calling it kitchen income. It's a steady, passive supplement that could help cover a utility bill or two. It's not going to buy you a sports car. And that leaves us with one final question to chew on. As opportunities like this become easier and more accessible, is just holding crypto still enough? Could active participation, like running a node, become the new standard for anyone who's serious about their digital assets? It's definitely something to think about.